Okay, this is different than what I intended on making a video about, but I feel like this is an opportunity that I should not, or rather could not, pass up. I have a duty to talk about this. There were other things I wanted to talk about first, but to be completely transparent with you, I had already filmed a different video, but my footage killed itself, so I had to start over from scratch on short notice. But actually, in a great coincidence, the AI Fruit Love Island situation escalated immediately after I lost all of my previous footage, so it's like the whole thing is calling to me, and begging that I talk about it. So here we are, when life gives you lemons and all that. Literally.
I'm lemon, yeah, like the fruit.
But oh god, the horror. If you thought maybe I'd been a bit harsh in the past when talking about art made by humans, you are wildly unprepared for the rage that I have in my body for AI art made by robots. Thankfully, there's not a lot of context required to dive headfirst into the AI Fruit Love Island rabbit hole. It is exactly what it sounds like. It's just like the real Love Island, the reality TV show that historically garners a lot of attention on the internet every year when a new season comes out. Combine that with everyone else's favorite thing on the internet, AI fruit. For some reason. And now you've got yourself something, that's for sure. The TikTok account AI Cinema 021 was the first to capitalize on this brilliant idea, and on March 14th of this year, AI Fruit Love Island Episode 1 was born. It gained popularity very quickly, and as of the time of me writing this script, Episode 1 has over 30 million views, and the account got over 2 million followers in the first week after Episode 1. I typically don't concern myself with anything AI, so for me this was just one more thing on the internet to ignore. But it got to a point where this shit was everywhere. Even if you weren't watching it yourself, you've definitely seen some people on your For You page talking about it. It was the kind of thing that I expected mostly children to be watching. When I had first seen screenshots of it, it kinda gave Cocomelon to me a little bit, but I was surprised to find out that many adults were like, wow guys, this is fucking awesome. And every time I heard that, a little bit more of me died inside. I didn't even need to see it for myself to know that those are not words that I ever want to hear being said about any AI-generated anything. And it hurt even more to see this coming from adults who can, like, vote and drive cars and shit. So that was the belief I held, and I continued to avoid watching it until it came time to research for this video. And lo and behold, it's even worse than I imagined. And now I'm even more upset to see so many adults talking about AI Fruit Love Island with such adoration. Like, these people have actually no standards for the content they consume. You have no standards for yourself. I'm getting ahead of myself, let me reel it in, I'll have plenty of time to be angry after the recap. And by the way, this recap will be a bit different than the other recaps I've done previously. The goal here really isn't to explain the story, I'm just kind of delivering some highlights so that I can highlight to you how terrible this all is. The main substance of this video is going to be me talking about the wider implications of how this series has been received online. So that's what I'm mostly going to be focusing on, and the story is secondary. And also, when I say I'm showing you highlights, that does not mean that any of this is good. Anything, no matter how terrible, can have highlights, it's all relative. Train wrecks have highlights too, like how the moment you go flying off a cliff and begin free-falling could probably be considered a highlight compared to the moment that you and everyone else on board crash into the ground and explode. So anyway, I clicked on the first episode of AI Fruit Love Island and I was way more appalled than I thought I'd be. That's not to say I really had high expectations going into this, I knew it was gonna be pretty bad, but not even 20 seconds into this less than 70-second long episode, I was already hanging my head in shame. It begins with the host, who I think is a Kiwi, welcoming us to Fruit Love Island. She says that 8 single fruits are about to flirt and fight, and we're immediately introduced to these 4 fruit women. There's this one on the left, who I'm assuming is a watermelon, a pineapple, a cherry, and this one's anyone's guess. Immediately after, we see the guys. A banana, some grapes, something, and an orange. And they say that they're ready to break some hearts.
I'm here to have fun. And probably break a few hearts. Bro said the quiet part out loud.
Oh god. We cut to them all meeting, and in typical AI fashion, everyone looks different than they just did in the last clip. The cherry girl is just gone, and she's now become a second watermelon woman. The mystery girl from the beginning is now also kind of becoming a watermelon, and all of the guys have different hair now. The pineapple and the new watermelon girl both say that they like the banana guy, and then in the very next scene, they're both talking to him, and now it's the old watermelon girl instead of the new one that we just saw expressing her interest in the banana. We are 25 seconds in. The first coupling happens and everyone is different again, like who is this guy on the left, and the cherry girl is back now. And throughout the whole recoupling, random people just disappear and reappear. Who are any of you? Oh, I am so mad. The watermelon girl says she's gonna pick the banana guy, Bananito, but the pineapple girl isn't gonna let that happen, and she says she picks him. The pineapple and Bananito, the banana, start making out, and the watermelon girl punches her. At least I think that's what this is. It doesn't really look like she hits her at all. Maybe she just did a really intimidating pose and the pineapple girl didn't like that. So the final couples after the first episode are the pineapple girl, who I guess is named Pina Pina, and Bananito, Watermelina and Orangelo, Chirina and Grapenzo, and Mangella and Kiwilo. Considering all of that was just contained in the very first episode, I am baffled that anyone continued to watch the series after that. Like, again, I don't have any standards for AI, but I feel like considering the way people were talking about this series, it's fair for me to assume that there would at least be a little bit of consistency between scenes. I don't want to watch a show where there's no object permanence, and I feel like that's a very normal standard that everyone should have. Next episode, the host looks different, but just get used to that because it happens a lot. Tonight they're playing a game called Tropical Shots. I could use a few tropical shots. To my brain. We don't get to know the rules of this game, and also we don't see much of the game at all. Bananito asks Chirina who's hotter, Grapenzo or someone else's guy.
Who's hotter, Grapenzo or someone else guy?
He has such a way with words. She is honest and says she likes Orangelo. Watermelina's a little bit upset, and then it seems like the game is over after that one question, and we cut to everyone dancing on the beach. Well, I don't know if you could call this everyone, because this is nobody on the cast that we just saw. Who are you? What is this? So Watermelina gets mad at Pina Pina for dancing with Bananito, and then she starts throwing hands again. Someone call the cops. Bananito breaks them up, and the episode ends. Episodes 3 and 4, along with a random assortment of other videos, have actually been removed from AI Cinema's account because people began mass reporting all of these videos. This restored a little bit of my faith in the human race, but not enough. I found all of these lost episodes re-uploaded onto YouTube, so yippee. In episode 3, a new bombshell enters the villa, and she's a strawberry.
I'm Strawberrina, I'm 25, and I'm from Ohio, and I'm here to shake up this villa.
There's a joke to be made about her being from Ohio, but I just don't have it in me at this point, and also I think I'm a bit old to be making Ohio jokes. So everyone's pretty shocked, to say the least, including all of these randoms. Bananito is immediately interested in her, and they kiss, and Watermelina is pissed.
Like, please, relax, honey.
Listening to any of these characters talk is actually difficult. Not necessarily because they're hard to understand or anything, it's just difficult emotionally. They do a challenge that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Strawberina picks Kiwilo, and they drink something together and they end up winning. I guess they drank the best? I don't know, we don't actually get to see anyone else play this game, so it's anyone's guess. As a reward for winning, they go on a secluded date. On the date, Strawberina calls Mangella a bitch and tries to kiss Kiwilo. And when he tells her to slow down because he's still keeping his options open with Mangella, she just punches him in the face.
You just wasted my damn time!
Okay, that was unnecessary.
Did she fucking kill him? Back in the villa, Kiwilo goes over to Mangella and says the date was a disaster, so I guess he's not dead. And they kiss. Who gives a shit? Meanwhile, Chirina and Orangelo are standing very romantically when she says she thinks she regrets choosing Grapenzo as her couple. He agrees with her while they stay in this romantic stance, and then suddenly they start running away like someone off-screen pulled out a gun. And we just cut away. This entire thing feels a bit like a dream in a weird way. Like the logic of it and the way everything moves feels almost identical to how all of my dreams feel. Like, why did they suddenly get terrified and book it? I feel like it's very apparent to everyone that's ever existed, that them suddenly doing that doesn't make sense. So why didn't the creator just cut the end of that clip out? It just makes it even more obvious how little effort goes into making these videos. Later, there's a recoupling. Kiwilo and Mangella stay together, Orangelo picks Chirina, and Grapenzo, or whoever this creature is, watches in sadness. Grapenzo picks Water Molina and in a confessional says he's glad that dumb bitch Chirina is out of the way.
So now that dumb Chirita's out of the way, who knows what could happen? Water Molina low-key fine as f, so we chillin'.
I hate those words when they come from human men, but I think I hate them even more coming from a robot man. Benanito, in a shocking turn of events, if you care, says he picks Strawberryna, and Pina Pina goes on a rampage.
Are you fucking serious?
What does the nation of Syria have to do with this? Before she goes home, she tries to give Water Molina a hug, and this fucking terrifies her. And then she gets pissed and starts punching her again. How does she keep getting away with this, and why does everyone resort to violence so quickly? Next episode, everyone's going on a private date with their couple. Mangella and Kiwilo deepen their bond, and her drink disappears from her hands. How did she do that? Water Molina and Grapenzo talk, and suddenly, even though Water Molina beat the shit out of Pina Pina just last episode, here she expresses sadness for how Benanito dumped her and humiliated her in front of everyone.
Benanito absolutely humiliated Pina Pina.
It's Love Island. People switch.
Not like that.
And in response, she calls him crazy and throws wine on him, but gravity reverses for a moment and it flies through the air in an arc. And even though she just called him crazy and threw wine on him, it was with love and a smile, and I guess she just really fucks with him.
Okay, Grapenzo got this thing about him that I'm really into. He fine as fuck. I'm low-key ready to get in those pants.
Benanito and Strawberryna are on their date and she asks if he thinks he can handle her, and his response is, "I'm literally a banana."
You sure you can handle me?
I'm literally a banana.
What does that mean, and why did she react that way? Orangelo tells Chirina that she's the least chaotic person in the villa. What a compliment. And she takes this as a sign to tell him her big secret. She's a mom. And the following scene is just a straight recreation of the scene from Love Island Season 7 where Huda told Nick that she was a mom.
I'm a mommy.
Mommy?
I'm a mom.
Mamacita?
No, I'm a mommy.
Mom of what?
A dog?
I have a daughter.
Like, why did this have to be made? If you like watching this, just go watch the original Love Island. Next episode, they do a kissing challenge. Who is this? A bombshell enters the villa. His name is Kokonik, and he's from Australia. He kisses Water Molina and, like, spits all over her or something, but she seemed to like it.
Okay, so obviously that kiss with Kokonik made me wet.
This pisses Grapenzo off, and later that night he starts fighting Kokonik and he loses. Embarrassing. Next episode, Kokonik gets exclusive dates with all of the girls. Nothing that interesting happens on all of them until his date with Strawberryna, or at least I think that's who this is. It's kind of hard to tell because her and Water Molina kind of morph into each other every now and then. On the date, she pushes him over and says,
Yes, I can finally get some D.
"Girl, relax." He says that he thinks this is a bit fast, but they start kissing anyway and it cuts to after, and I guess she did get some D given the dialogue that ensues.
That escalated quickly.
Best I've had in a while.
I think it was at this point that I just started disassociating and feeling the weight of the disappointment of all previous generations on my shoulders. Like, this is what years of technological developments led us to. Fruit sex. At the end of this episode, the viewers are encouraged to vote to decide who Kokonik couples up with, and next episode it's revealed that over 150,000 people participated in the vote. That number is too big for my liking. Turns out the viewers picked Kokonik to couple up with Strawberryna, so Benanito is going home. Good riddance, I guess.
Well, if I'm leaving, I'm making a splash.
Normally, the compliment you give a guy is that he has 3 legs, but turns out he has 3 arms. Later, Chirina tells Orangelo to not tell the other guys that she's a mom, so naturally he goes to the other guys and tells them she's a mom. And they immediately start discouraging him from staying with her. This gets to him, so he refuses to share a bed with her that night. Next episode, they get sent on a makeup date where they just sit in a hot tub and eat fruit? What are the implications of this? Are these lesser beings? Babies? After the date, he goes up to Watermelina to ask for some advice, and when she tells him to just talk to Chirina directly, he kisses her out of nowhere, and she gets pissed.
What the f are you doing?
He apologizes, and she says she'll keep it a secret, but that ultimately he has to handle this situation with Chirina by himself. That night at a party, Chirina gets pretty fucked up. And this is gonna be how much I have to drink to console myself after watching this mess. She spills another zero-gravity drink on Strawberryna, and let me just insert this whole scene for you.
Oh, look what you did, you bald-headed bitch! You ruined my dress! You were in my way, ho.
Why did she walk away like that? I think I'm gonna try that the next time I'm in a confrontation. Strawberryna gets changed into a new, clean dress and shows it off with a dramatic pose in which she grows another arm. Next episode, it's movie night. Which, if you don't know, in the real Love Island is when they show clips from previous episodes to the Islanders to reveal some secrets and stir up some drama. One of the clips they show is Arangelo telling all the guys that Chirina is a mom, and she gets mad and punches him, but like in slow motion. They show some more clips and she keeps getting more and more mad, which eventually results in her getting up and leaving the event. And in the next episode, she quits the show and goes home by her own accord. So now, to fill the empty void, the audience gets to pick 2 new bombshells that they want to add. Let's take a look at our options.
I'm Anaya, a papaya. I'm Bluebella, a blueberry. I'm Peacha, the peach.
I'm Pearson, like the pear.
I'm Draco, dragon fruit. I don't care who's coupled up. If I want something, I take it. I like problems.
I'm Lemon, yeah, like the fruit.
I like that the lemon guy was like, I'm lemon. Yeah, like the fruit. Like no shit like the fruit. Next episode, they do a blindfolded kissing challenge, which is something that they do in the real Love Island, but in this version, the host says everyone's names before they go, so what's the point of being blindfolded? And also at one point, one of the girl's eyes open through the blindfold, so yeah, what really is the point of being blindfolded? My questions are answered when Draco the dragon fruit shows up to participate and the girls love him.
Guys, I'm wet again.
The challenge continues, this time it's the girls' turn to kiss, and eventually Bluebella joins the game and it causes Strawberryna to run away in fear. These people seem to be just terrified in general. They do this a lot. Once the challenge is over, the host reveals the truth about the bombshells participating in the game, and as she does this, she gets shocked with electricity or magic or something as the clip fades to black, and then it just cuts back to her continuing her speech and whatever magic this was is gone. Did she just get struck by lightning or something and then they cut away and tried to act like it didn't happen? So the bombshells join the villa officially, and they each get to pick an islander to go on a private date with. Bluebella picks Kiwilo and Draco picks Watermelina. Nothing really happens, just a lot of objects disappearing and reappearing, so the usual. Next episode, they're reading fan comments and trying to decide who they're about. And these are real fan comments, none of these are AI. And I don't know which reality I prefer, more AI being used to write fake comments or more fans of this show writing real comments. This whole thing is, again, pretty pointless. Here are some clips from that.
Ladies, I'm trying to do my work today. Leave me alone type shit.
They're picking up on it, you look unsure, and I'm not about to pretend I don't see it. That's so embarrassing, I'm dead!
Mangelina wins this challenge for getting the most answers correct, so as her reward, she gets to pick who she wants to go to the hideaway with. And for the non-Love Island watchers, the hideaway is basically a separate, secluded bedroom where people typically go as some kind of reward to have sex, basically. Mangela picks Kiwilo. They have sex, at least I think they do. She looks kinda scared, but they seem happy the next morning and they decide to make their relationship official. Draco and Strawberryna, or Watermelina, literally who knows or cares, are talking and they kind of fuck with each other. I think one of them farts in the water or something, but they're chill like that, so at that night's recoupling, Watermelina picks Draco.
Wow, thank you. I'm excited.
Bro, are you good? Like, do you need an inhaler or something? After everyone couples up, Arangelo is the odd man out, so he has to leave the villa. But he actually reveals that he's in love with Grapenzo.
Because the truth is, I'm in love with Grapenzo.
After confessing and before waiting for a response, he just goes in and tries to kiss him, to which Grapenzo punches him in the face.
I'm done pretending. Grapenzo, come here. What the f? Get off! We are not together. You get out the villa!
AI Fruit Love Island, you will not win me over by wokeifying your show and making a single man gay. Especially after making him get beat up right after coming out. What the f was that? The next couple episodes are of Casa Amor, which is where the boys and girls are separated and introduced to new sets of girls and boys respectively, to test their connections or whatever, and see if they remain loyal to their current couple. There's not much more to say about it though, maybe I'll insert some more clips here, maybe not. That is where the story ends at the time of me writing this script, but not because the story is over. Okay, surprise intermission from me editing this video. A finale has been uploaded. In the finale, Chirina wins even though she left the show in like episode 18 or 19 or whatever. All of the AI Fruit Love Island fans in the comments were pissed. I'm surprised that there were even any AI Fruit Love Island fans left by this point. After the finale was uploaded, the creator uploaded 2 more story posts. The first one is them talking about how they were removed from the creator rewards program, so they don't see the point in continuing the series anymore. And the second story post, they're back to their shitty attitude where they're like, oh, you're lucky you got anything at all because I don't get paid anymore. We have really lost the plot of like art. Like, this isn't art to begin with because it's fully AI, obviously, but like, just fully admitting that you don't see a point in creating because you're not profiting anymore is just insane and wildly depressing. Like, I know people need money at the end of the day, but it's not like this person had this opportunity like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's not like this was their long-term career that they had been paying rent with for months. So that's all I have to say about that, just if you were curious about how all of this ends. New episodes stopped coming out because the creator got the shit bullied out of them and they got removed from the creator program. And they had a bunch of their episodes removed like I mentioned a bit ago. And when this happened, the creator had a massive fucking freak out on their story. This all unfolded after I was already over halfway done writing my script for this video, so you better believe I was giddy finding out that this creator was crashing out in real time because I knew that it would make a great addition to my recap. So when people first started getting upset, these mass reporting incidents ended up in their original YouTube account getting deleted, to which they posted this on their TikTok story. My YouTube was deleted. It's okay, they broke, I'm up. Followed by a poll that says, should the haters stay mad? A couple days later, they posted this on their story. Basically, this person has a crazy, shitty attitude saying that they never expected to get this much attention, but clearly a lot of people are obsessing over it, whether they want to admit it or not. A lot of people genuinely enjoy it, and that's not their fault. And unfortunately, they're right. A lot of people do like this series, and we'll talk about that in a minute. They go on to say that the thing a lot of people are ignoring is how long it takes to make these videos. They have to write scripts, plan scenes, and keep redoing things because the AI is too shit at its job. Each episode takes hours to make. Oh no, poor you. You have to actually put in effort to make a product that people like? That really sucks. I wonder how people who actually animate and write storyboards for a living feel knowing that their work that they actually put effort into doesn't get even a quarter of recognition that this ass series gets. I'm sure before all of this stuff went to hell, this person was making a lot of money from their videos. Presumably an amount of money that was very disproportionate to the amount of effort they were putting into these videos. And that's the problem. One of the problems. Real artists are suffering while people like this get to get away with shit like this. The hate towards this account continued to increase, and a day or so after the last story post, the account comments this. Guys, I'm losing motivation. These videos take so long and the image and animation generation is getting so bad. I'm so sorry. Also, so much hate and all my vids removed is tough. We'll get through it. So they are really doubling down on this whole lack of motivation because having a robot do everything for you is too hard thing. I don't know this person in real life, obviously. I don't know how they perform in their day-to-day routine. But this whole outburst about how having to put in effort is just too much work really speaks to the effects of casual AI use on people's brains. There have been a ton of studies done already about how AI use actually affects people's brains, and this whole situation illustrates it perfectly. Once you become reliant on AI, the thought of having to put in any effort or think on your own is overwhelming and feels impossible. This creator expressed that when they said that putting hours of effort into what was presumably their source of income at this point is just too hard, and they're losing motivation and they don't really want to do it anymore. Unfortunately, effort is just a part of life sometimes. I don't really know what else to tell you. Making art used to be the escape from the monotony of day-to-day life and work and school and whatnot, but now AI has made it so people don't even want to put effort into doing that anymore. If you don't feel like putting in the effort to make a good quality video for your millions of followers who were presumably at one point funding you, I hate to imagine how you perform at school or at work. You should want to do good, just in general. You should want to produce good things and consume good things. And if you no longer have that desire, that is not normal. Anyway, things escalate even further when the creator turns to their story once again to complain. Their first story post of this rampage reads, "Alright, f*** all you bitches. No more Fruit Love Island. Since people so obsessed with it, all my videos banned, I make no money. I guess I am being targeted because no other AI account getting f***ed. Y'all heard it from Benanito himself. Bye." I wish this was goodbye, but as you can see that I actually continue for an additional 8 posts. And I'll just read all of them for you before we talk about them. Was a good run, didn't expect any of this, but here we are. From being a nobody to being cancelled, I guess I'll take it. People hate to see people win. By the way, Lamira took Mangella's bitch Kiwilo. Was gonna be some crazy drama, but haters gonna hate. RIP K+M. I'm so glad y'all got what y'all wanted, saving the planet 3 gallons of water at a time. Truly inspirational. Psych, f all y'all, you jealous motherfuckers. Save the planet, OMG water, OMG I love water, please clean water. What y'all sound like. Thanks for 3 million followers though, wow, I guess some might like it. All the haters taking hours out of their day. I hope you genuinely get a real job, you unemployed motherfuckers. Posting about my account to get yourself views? I'm dead, since y'all are so uninteresting yourself. I don't know about you, AI Cinema, but I still get to make money from my videos. At another account y'all are gang raging on for being AI. I guess I just too big a deal that people gotta stop it. Yes baby, save the planet, OMG, you so environmental. Should I keep posting? This whole thing is one of those situations where every time the creator opened their mouth to try and say something, it just made the whole situation worse. They could have just stayed silent and the whole thing would have gone away eventually. I mean, they never should have done the series in the first place, but what's done is done. I also am not sure who they think they're appealing to with all of this. This whole attitude certainly isn't going to change anyone's mind. If anything, it's gonna upset people that were originally on your side because of your nasty attitude. And this whole thing about mocking people asking for clean water is just in such poor taste, like there's nothing else to even say about it. Like yeah, some people do want clean water, and making those people out to be your enemy #1 is just not a good move. Even if this one person using generative AI to make these videos has an overall negligible effect on water use, the huge amount of support for this series is going to affect the overall demand for AI, which would be when we start to see an increase in the amount of data centers being built, directly affecting people's water quality. A lot of people seem to be misinformed on the effects of AI on the environment in both directions. Some people have a super inflated view on how it affects the environment, and some people think it has no effect at all. So allow me to break it down for you. Basically, anything you do on the internet uses water. Googling questions, scrolling TikToks, texting your friends, it all uses water, and it has since long before the widespread use of AI. Most things you do in your daily life require water, whether it be indirectly or directly. It takes water to make clothing, it takes water to raise livestock, it took water for me to make this video, and you watching this video takes water. But the difference between things like food and clothes and AI is the fact that food and clothes are necessities. AI Fruit Love Island is not a necessity. I also understand that me making this video isn't a necessity either. But most of the things I do to make my videos happen offline, like script writing and editing. So it requires much less water for me to make one of my videos than it would if I were to make the same video using AI. And also, let me just explicitly throw it out there and say that I have never used AI to help make any of my videos. I've never used it to write scripts, I've never used it to help me come up with ideas, I've never used it to edit, I've never used it in any aspect of my videos, and I never will. Nor do I use AI casually, whether it be for school or whatever else. Do not get it twisted. An argument that I see in defense of AI Fruit Love Island way too often is people making false equivalencies and saying stuff like, oh, the people hating on AI Fruit Love Island are the same people that use ChatGPT for school and whatever other stuff like that. And maybe that's true for some people, but I doubt that it's true for most people. And even if it were true for most people, there is still a difference between asking ChatGPT a question for school and using AI to generate a stupid fucking Fruit Love Island video. But to be clear, I don't use AI for anything, so you can't get me with that one. Another argument I've seen going around is, oh, haven't you guys heard of the water cycle? Water's infinite, water gets reused. And yeah, this is true. Water used by data centers does eventually re-enter the water cycle. But it is not as simple as, oh, the water used by data centers enters the atmosphere, it comes down as rain, and the water is restored. This water is still not returning to the exact location that it came from, and the water is being depleted much faster than it can be renewed. And water used for cooling AI data centers can't just be reused within the same data center. Cooling AI data centers requires clean water. Once it's been dirtied, it can't be reused to keep cooling the same computers. The way we were using water before AI became widespread was already not sustainable. So adding water use due to AI on top of all of that makes everything even less sustainable. For reference, scrolling on TikTok for 1 minute requires a few ounces of water. Generating 1 minute of an AI video requires gallons of water. Again, just one person using generative AI to make videos has a negligible effect on water use, but imagine how many people are using AI to generate photos and videos every day. Thousands of people are effectively doubling, tripling, or even quadrupling their daily water use. It's kind of dizzying when you try to picture it. So let's do some math, shall we? Each AI Love Island video is about 1 or 2 minutes long. We'll say that they're about 1.5 minutes long on average for simplicity's sake. That might not be super accurate, but we're just trying to keep it simple. If it takes about 4 gallons of water to produce 1 minute of an AI-generated video, each episode of AI Fruit Love Island requires about 6 gallons of water. There are 22 episodes up at the time of me writing this script, so 132 gallons of water were used to make the entire series. And that's not even considering how many times the creator had to regenerate certain clips because they didn't like them, as they have openly admitted to doing. If one episode takes hours to make, this person is spending hours AI generating videos. So the amount of water that this series alone requires is definitely much larger than 132 gallons. I'm operating off of the assumption that 1 minute of an AI-generated video requires 4 gallons of water, but there are some estimates that it could take up to 6 or even 8 gallons for 1 minute. Each scene in an episode of AI Fruit Love Island is about 10 seconds long, let's say. Some of them are longer, some of them are shorter, but again, we're keeping it simple. There are some numbers that say generating 10 seconds of an AI video requires 1 gallon of water. That's a higher rate of water production than I used in my original calculation, so just keep that in mind if it helps you sleep at night. The creator says that it takes hours to make 1 episode of AI Fruit Love Island, but let's keep it simple and say that they generate 10-second clips for an hour straight. That's not accounting for the amount of time that you have to wait for your video to finish generating, but let's just assume that the multiple hours it takes to create these episodes cancels that out. Since we're only doing the math for 1 hour, there are 3,600 seconds in an hour, divided by the 10-second clips is 360. So with 360 10-second clips, and each 10-second clip requiring 1 gallon of water, this means that the actual amount of water produced per episode of Love Island is over 50 times my original estimate. 360 gallons per episode for 22 episodes brings us to a grand total of 7,920 gallons for the entire series. This is an 8,000-gallon water tank for comparison. And this is just one person's water use for one project. Imagine how many more water tanks could be filled by just people in your town, your county, your state, your country. And maybe, if AI Fruit Love Island were of any quality whatsoever, I'd say f*** it, who cares about the water, dump it all out. But it's not worth it. It's a shitty show. Characters shapeshift and gain limbs, and objects disappear, and nothing makes any fucking sense. This series is not worth 1 glass of water, let alone 126,720 glasses of water. Like I was saying earlier, it is majorly disappointing seeing so many people, adults included, saying that they love this series. And this whole thing speaks to the decreased standards that people hold the content they consume to and the standards that they hold themselves to. You should want to like things of a certain level of quality, and you should demand that level of quality from the people that produce for their millions of followers. I've said it many times before, but content, whether it be a movie, a TV show, a YouTube series, or a TikTok series, doesn't have to be good in order for it to be enjoyed. And that is something that I do still stand by. But at the same time, I do think that there is some line of quality that represents the point of no return at some point. Yes, things don't need to be perfect in order for them to be liked, but holy shit, I think that any show worth watching should have characters that look the same between scenes and basic object permanence. If people keep demonstrating that they like this shitty, sorry excuse for a show that doesn't even pronounce character names the same between episodes or portray characters the same way for more than 5 seconds, then that shows to larger businesses and production companies that consumers are okay with accepting content of this quality. Obviously, AI Fruit Love Island is just one series in a sea of millions, but I do think it sets an uncomfortable, dangerous precedent. Businesses are now aware that there are millions of people who would rather watch 1 to 2 minute long episodes of shitty AI Love Island instead of the 40 to 60 minute long episodes of the real Love Island. And even aside from the visual quality or the environmental impacts of this series, AI can never recreate the actual emotional complexity of real Love Island. I'm aware that the way I'm describing Love Island makes it sound like some Shakespearean piece of art, but it kind of is when you compare it to anything made by AI. People like Love Island because it is, to some extent, real. The contestants' emotions and reactions to things are authentic. These are real people outside of the show, they have actual lives. The parts that make it dramatic and entertaining are the contestants' emotions. By pure principle alone, none of these things can ever exist in an AI version of Love Island. There's this quote somewhere that's like, computers can never be spiteful or horny, so therefore they should never make art, and there is no situation more fitting. Love Island is all about being spiteful and horny. AI can never recreate that, period. If the real Love Island is right the f*** there, and there are several seasons made in dozens of countries, there is no reason to watch AI Love Island over the real thing. Hell, I did my final project for my Italian class last semester on Love Island, Italy. There is so much real Love Island to be watched. Hours upon hours, days upon days, it's a gold mine. And it's filled to the brim with real human emotions made by other humans. And if watching the real Love Island is the only thing you take away from this video, great, I'm glad, it's pretty entertaining. And I can guarantee that you will have a much better time doing that than watching AI Fruit. Thank you guys for watching this video. It's a bit different than anything that I've done up until this point, but rest assured I will be returning to my roots soon enough. Fanfiction video soon, Dream SMP video after that, the lineup is fucking crazy. I hope you guys are doing well, thank you guys for the support as usual, I love you guys. This whole thing is so surreal every single day, you guys are literally paying for my school, thank you. In fact, I will never stop thanking you. Thank you. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.